Hi YouTube. So today's topic is going to be about how I grew up with acne and a skin picking disorder, and basically how that affected me in my life. Apparently it was caused by my mother figure. Apparently she was cursing me and doing a bunch of witchcraft on me all the time, and she was hoping that I would be ugly and that my skin would break out all the time. And so she was wishing that on me all the time, all day apparently. So that's why I started developing acne when I was like as young as, I want to say, like 12, 13. I started not having clear skin anymore, and then I started getting like small. At first it started off with just like a pimple or two, and then it progressively got worse. And she also didn't want to teach me anything about skincare or anything like that. I pretty much had to learn that all on my own, what was good for my face and what wasn't. She didn't want me knowing anything. She didn't want to teach me anything, basically. So like it stressed me out. I didn't know how to like deal with it, so I started like picking my skin instead, which like isn't healthy or isn't healthy for you to do, because it can actually cause infection. So like I didn't know that when I was young, obviously, because I wasn't told that from her or anyone. So I probably started picking my skin due to like stress and anxiety and all of that, because I couldn't control whatever I was feeling, with whatever was going on like at my home and at school life and things like that. Like I was just constantly stressed and like anxious and nervous and things like that. And I didn't understand that like having those feelings like wasn't normal, but it was definitely probably caused, a lot of it was caused from her, like her wanting me to be like that. I feel like she wanted me stressed out, she wanted me looking bad at that young age. So I just thought it was weird, and I always kind of thought like it had to do with her, but I just like wasn't sure like 100%. Like obviously at that age when I was young, I didn't really know like what was going on. But that's when I started breaking out. That's when I started noticing acne, and that's when I didn't really know what to do and all of that. So I just kind of dealt with it like on my own. But then I also resorted to wearing makeup to like cover it up because I was like insecure about it, which I honestly wish I never took that route. Like I wish she told me I didn't need it, because if someone had told me that, I wouldn't have like went that route, because I didn't need it at that age. But because I was breaking out a lot and it was getting worse, I felt like I needed it, but I really didn't, because obviously makeup's just a cover and it can like make it worse too. So like I didn't know that. Like I wasn't taught that at that age. So like I genuinely thought I was like doing the right thing, or that that's the way I wanted to cope with it, because I was so insecure about it, because I wasn't told that, oh, this can be a common thing that could start happening. Not everyone, like there are people that start breaking out. Like I wasn't told that by like my mother figure or anyone. So like I didn't know like how to deal with it, because I wasn't told anything basically. So I just was insecure about it, of course, because she wasn't telling me anything, no one was telling me anything. So I just kind of dealt with it however I felt like I needed to. But looking back, I shouldn't have even been like insecure about it like that, because like I was young and it wasn't that bad. But then it started getting progressively worse, and that's when I started picking my skin more, and it can actually leave behind scarring, and that's what happened. And I shouldn't have even did any of that, but I was so stressed out that like that's the only thing that I knew how to do, was like at that age, was like make it worse, like make the problem worse, which I guess people can say like picking my skin, even though it's a skin picking disorder and it can happen because of anxiety and stress. Like I guess you can say like it was also like a way to self-harm, I guess. Like I don't know, I just think that I was going through a lot at those ages, and then that's why the skin picking got worse. As I got older, like that's how I would cope, but I would still like to wear makeup and things like that. But eventually, as I got into my older years, my acne got a lot, it leveled out. Like it actually went away once. Well, it actually not completely went away, but it got better as I got out of my teenage years and into my adulthood. And then eventually I was able to stop the skin picking. Somehow I had to literally learn how to stop doing it myself, because at one point it was like an addiction, and I didn't even realize like the skin picking throughout the years, like my younger years, like it actually could have caused infection. Like I could have had to go to the hospital for it. Like thankfully I never did, because it was that bad. Like it was really bad. And like obviously people could probably think, oh, I could have been on drugs or something like that. That wasn't even like what it was from. Like I just genuinely wanted to pick my skin. Like it is like a weird like compulsion type of thing, but that's because I was frustrated that my skin was breaking out in the first place. Things like that. And I didn't really know how to deal with it, so I just kind of dealt with it on my own, like I said, like, and internally. So however I was feeling, like, that's just how I coped with it. But then eventually I taught myself better self-care. Like I learned all that as I started getting older because my mother figure didn't teach me any of that, so I didn't really know, or she didn't have patience or time for me, really. Like she didn't really, I feel like she didn't really give a shit. So I just had to learn like what worked for me and my skin and not other people, because everyone's different. So like I tried not to use too many harsh chemicals on it. At one point I think I was prescribed like certain medications like for my face, like topical, and like it would leave burns on my skin sometimes. So like I thought it was working, and it was working at one point, but at one point it became too harsh, so I had to get off of it, and it was like not good for my skin. So I had to switch to other like basic moisturizers, things like that, and like face wash, instead of using like some of the harsher stuff that they prescribe. So I got off that eventually as I got older. And yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. Basically, my mother figure wanted me ugly, so that's why I believe, that's a big reason why I believe I developed having acne and like the skin picking disorder. And at one point it was worse. It was like very cystic. As you can see, I wouldn't really say it's cystic now. I'd say it's more like mild, but I still think, you know, people are trying to make me think I need to take Accutane for it. I need to go on medication for it. And like the thing with Accutane is I don't think I could ever go on that medication anyways, because I suffer from like chronic illness and chronic pain. Like I have things going on within my body that it could disrupt it and make it worse. Like I could become like severely ill possibly if I were to take the medication. I'm not saying I would or I'm going to if I were to try to take it, but I heard Accutane is the only thing that like clears up your acne for good. So like, I don't know. Like obviously I've considered it, but I just like never went on it because of other issues I was dealing with that like I didn't know like if it would be good for me to take the medication, because I heard Accutane's really hard on your body. And you have to be on it for like several months before you get off of it to make sure it's gone for good. So I heard it works for most people, but I just don't know if it's worth risking my health for it as someone that already doesn't have like perfect 100% health, you know what I mean? And then I suffer from like anemia too, so I don't know if that would affect anything going on Accutane. But there are other medications I could consider, but I don't know if it would really do anything for me, because like I just heard Accutane is the only thing that works, so I'm not sure. Like that's something I would have to get a doctor for again, or like a dermatologist, and like figure it out. But I don't have that anymore. I did go to a couple of those when I was younger, but like they couldn't really do much for me. They did try to prescribe medication, but I think one of the medications they prescribed, I might have taken it for a little bit, but I just like didn't have a good feeling about it. I don't think it did anything for me. I can't really quite remember. It didn't really do anything for the problem back when I was younger. So like I just decided not to do the medication route, because they basically were suggesting Accutane and Accutane only. And I just like never decided to try the medication. So it would be something I would have to think of on my own. Like, is it worth the risk? Whatever. Because, like, that's the only thing that I heard gets rid of it for good, but also you can have, like, adverse reactions. So, but that's pretty much what I feel like everyone's suggesting me in my energy, and they're trying to make me feel like I'm the only one that's had this problem and that has dealt with acne, and, oh, I need to be on Accutane, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I don't know if it's really worth the risk, and also I'm pretty sure it costs money if you don't have insurance that covers whatever. Yeah, if you don't have insurance that covers it or something like that, and you have to get your blood drawn every month, I think, or something, but that's not that big of a deal. I used to get my blood drawn pretty much all the time, or I've gotten drawn all the time, so like that's not the biggest deal. I just don't know what it would do to my health taking a pill like that every day. But I don't think that I would be able to go on it due to certain health conditions that already exist. But yeah, so I try to just deal with it like firsthand. I try not to touch my skin or touch my face. I don't anymore. Like I said, I used to, but then as I got older, I like, you know, didn't want to pick my skin anymore. Like it really hurts to do stuff like that. So eventually it just became, I just eventually stopped doing it. I taught myself how to not do it anymore, because I was the only one that was going to be able to get myself to stop. Like, so it wasn't really that big of a deal for me to eventually like stop doing that. I just had to tell myself not to do it anymore and like ram it in my head not to do it. And that's not good to touch your skin, because that's how you break out too. If you have dirty hands, you touch your skin, that's how you break out. But yeah, anything like stress, anxiety, that can cause you to develop acne, and I'm pretty sure like that's also what it's from. So I don't really think it's like any imbalance like in my body. Like I don't think it's hormonal or anything like that. I just think that it was caused from stress. I think my mother was doing hello witchcraft on me, so that's also why. She did not want me to be pretty. She did not want people to like me, or to think that I was attractive, basically. Put it that way. She wanted me to be insecure, but so did a lot of people. It wasn't just her. But I would say she was like the main cause of it. And me developing a skin picking disorder as well. So yeah, I'm trying to think if I have anything else I want to say on this topic. It can feel very embarrassing and very, you know, when you develop things like this. I know when I was growing up, like I didn't really understand it, and I felt insecure about myself and about my face and my skin, but that's because it, like anybody would, if you go through something like that, especially at a young age, and you don't see like a lot of people really going through what you're going through, that it can feel very alienating. I know it did for me. But it got better as I got older, and I realized like I wasn't the only one. I'm not the only one. When I researched about like, you know, acne and like skin picking disorders, and I realized I wasn't the only one that has suffered from something like this, or, you know, is suffering from, you know, not having perfect clear skin. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. I don't really have anything else to say. I don't want to go too into detail about anything. I pretty much said everything. So if you have any comments or anything you want to say, reach out to me, or just say something below if you relate on this topic, if you have anything to say. Thanks for watching.